What's happening, everybody? Technical issues galore. Nuruddin is on his way. He is just sorting out. Speaking of the devil, I may actually have my man Nuruddin. Are you there?
Nuruddin.
How you doing, guys? Sorry.
Yeah.
There he is. Bang on cue. Welcome to the show, everybody. As you can see, I have an esteemed panel of guests today. It is a top lineup. Down below me, you all know this guy. You've seen me on many of match day, many a fan cam. Nuruddin, the legend that is, mate. How are you doing, mate? It's been a while, pal.
I'm doing good, mate. Good to hear you both, man. Good to see you both, man. It's been a while, trust me. We're getting used to this new normal, mate, where you don't see human beings anymore, innit?
Mate, do you know what? When I meet people, I don't know what I'm going to do, mate. I honestly don't. It's going to be weird.
One of them awkward high fives.
Yeah, and obviously up top with me as well, our kid is in the house. He's not been on for a while as well, so it's good to get a couple of views from people who haven't been on the show for a while, because they may see things differently to how everyone else has been talking. It's going to be interesting. Nuruddin, I'm going to start with you, mate. You're on the thumbnail, you're on the title, mate. I think we spoke last, it was last year, mate, coming up to that Christmas run, and you said to me, I'm just going to wait until the 20-game mark before I get carried away with saying that we are in a title race, mate. Hate to say it, mate. As soon as we got in the race, we jumped straight back out of it, mate. It's like, that water looks nice. Oh, but it's too cold. Let's just get straight back out, mate.
Totally. It was like a hot potato. We didn't want to be at top of the league, and you only got hot potatoes. It's like, oh. You started that. Dashed it.
Mate, that was like Chris Smalling when he used to go over the halfway line. That, mate, I remember them days well.
Exactly, when he was almost dislocating his hip just to pass out.
Oh God! Everyone in the comments, welcome to the show. Get all your comments and questions in as we move on. The title of this video pretty much is: are Manchester United a cup team? And at best, are they a decent one? Because it's looking like we can be competitive in the cup competitions up to the semi-final stage, but then we all want to see that consistency in the league, which we're not seeing. But first of all, guys, and I'll come to you. Last night, I pretty much called it as a little bit of a mood booster. Yeah. Just a little bit of something just to cheer us up going into the weekend. I think if every Europa League game was as open and as easy to watch as that, then I could probably just about stomach the Europa League. It may get a bit more nerve-wracking towards the latter stages, like United always do. But overall, how did you see last night, mate? Is it a good boost for this weekend going into Newcastle? Or is it just a case of, well, it's the Europa League, let's not get too excited?
Hey, well, it's a confidence booster because the squad he put out was certainly a squad not to be messing around. Like I said, he played Rashford, Bruno, Greenwood. He had Fred, he had McTominay. They were all in there, so it was one of them games where there's no excuses, and it's one of them games where everyone was saying Solskjaer would be a tough game. I weren't expecting a 4-0 away from home. Definitely weren't expecting that for the first leg tie, but it is what it is, and I thought they played well, United. Attackingly, I thought every time we went forward, we did look dangerous. That's unless Rashford stops running through walls, just basically running into walls. Yeah. He needs to seriously learn how to finish the ball, Rashford. Because that's the problem at the moment. He's struggling with that. And Bruno's carrying us.
This is it, Nuruddin, mate. This is Rashford, who's got 17 goals this season. And we're all saying the guy's struggling. It's weird, isn't it? I suppose it can be a bit optimistic, really. If we're complaining now and he's got 17, it must mean there's plenty to come, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at his assist as well, like he's got... I think he's behind Bruno, just about behind Bruno in assist and goals. I think he's got something like 30 odd goals and assists this season, and it's like over 30 odd games. So it's weird, but it's the frustrating part when he's through. He does all of the work, and it's just the last bit, and that's what Ant was talking about. I think it's the frustration from the fan base is that the last bit he does all of the work, and then that last bit, just that bit there, whether to be composed to finish or whether it's to lay somebody else off, and it's just frustrating because we don't get that many in the games. But I put a tweet out last night and I said, can all the teams we're playing now till the end of the season please play a high line against us? Because we're deadly. When you play a high line against us, we're absolutely deadly. And I just look at it. I look at it in terms of when you're asking me about the league title and look at this. We're not even a good cup team because Ollie can never get them. Ollie can never sustain a semi. He needs something stronger than Viagra.
Yes, Watershed's not even 8 o'clock. We're all dropping bombs here and here, people. But yeah, I mean, you nailed it there, mate. I think that this now at this stage of the Europa League, especially, I think is where you can sort of let the handbrake off and go crazy. It's when it gets serious and nerves start creeping in that we're going to see what a lot of people call the real Manchester United. That's the hurdle, mate. We don't seem to be able to get over. No. It's great in all these games. Everyone's bigging up Dan James last night. He had a very, very good game last night. I did praise him myself. But how are we going to see that when it really matters against the quality teams? And I mean, this Europa League is no foregone conclusion. There's still some really good teams in this Europa League. So we've seen what happened last year. I think it is important in a way for Ollie to get a trophy, but I think next week in the return leg, especially, we should be seeing wholesale changes surely for this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, Absolutely. Ollie was asked that, and he said he's not going to make any wholesale changes.
Yeah, that's just suicidal then. It really is suicidal because we go up against Newcastle on Sunday night and we look knackered. Then Ollie's going to have to take it in the neck again. I don't know why he obviously sets himself up for these falls. I mean, he may be saying one thing and then change it, but I mean, I'd be changing the whole team.
You're 4-0 up, and you got Chelsea at the weekend. Chelsea have got Atletico on the same week. They're not going to rest players, so you take advantage when you can because you've got the players there. You've no need to play Bruno Fernandes in a 4-0 return leg. You can play Mata. You've got Van der Beek. You've got Bailly. You've got Axel, Telles, Brandon Williams, Henderson. You can play all these players, and it's strong enough to win against him. Daniel James again. Martial needs a pick-me-up, so play him. Give him a full 90 minutes because he needs a pick-me-up and a goal, Martial, to just pick him up and carry on because he's a shadow of what he was last season.
He is. I mean, I think we spoke many a times outside the ground regarding Rashford and Martial, mate. Martial, I'm not as concerned with Rashford as I am Martial right now, mate. I just think, I've said this the other day, I just feel like Rashford can be coached more. This makes sense. I feel like Rashford can be coached more, but I think Martial is pretty much where he is now. I can see the quality already in Martial, but it's when he wants, it seems to be when he wants to use it, mate. And like I said then, he could easily go out next week against Solskjaer and bag an hat-trick, mate, and then we never know. Yeah. It's the likes of Martial, I think he should be playing next week, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's massively low on confidence at the moment. You know, you played football, mate. You know, all of us had played football. And when you're lacking confidence, you need to be taking out the limelight. You know, Fergie used to manage. Remember, Fergie used to give, like, when really, like, go have a week holidays. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality. Like, take him out of the spotlight, bring him back, put him back. But I think the biggest thing is that there's maybe a part of because I remember when Zlatan came, this happened to Martial as well, when he's no longer like the number 9. Because I really believe last season we completely transformed his game. We saw all aspects of him. Last season, when we missed him, after the restart, we noticed when he didn't play because everything was going through him. And he was setting up people, you know, when we scored, the link up between him and Martial and Rashford was more fluid. They were teeing each other up. So there was a fluency to our football with them in it. But I think towards the end of last season, the tactics slightly changed. When Ollie's chopping and changing, it doesn't help the team. And then when obviously someone like Cavani comes in with all of that intimidation, like he's the top, he's the number 9 now. You know what I mean? Martial might be wearing it. When you're not as experienced as Martial, and you also went through the stagnation of Mourinho as well, because him and Rashford both went through stagnation where they weren't coached. They were just making it up as they go along, and one was coming on for the other. So there's all these things to contend with. I never look at somebody's body language because one of the best players we had, the strikers in the recent years, was Berbatov. He can be frustrating at times because we want somebody to be interested, but I always look at what they do when they're on the ball. And like, for example, the perfect example was against West Brom. not Fred or McTominay, gave Martial the ball out wide to his feet. It's like you have to know when you're playing. Cavani had 0 shots in 95 minutes of football. So sometimes it's easier to scapegoat the guys forwards. And then I look at forwards, even when Liverpool are not playing well, Salah will have 3-4 chances. Mane will have 1 or 2 chances. Bobby will have, even though he can't score to save, it's like he'll have 2 chances. I look at City, they'll create something. I look at Harry Kane, and even though Jose's team is quite defensive, Harry Kane and Son, they would at least have like 2 chances each in the game. I look at Man United, and I look at our midfield when Pogba's not there. Nobody can create from deep, and then we rely, and then teams will look after Bruno, and then all of a sudden, as fan base, well, like, Martial and Rashford do something magic, but they can't do the magic alone. Martial can't do the magic alone. So I think some of the criticism is fair. I will have no opinion. I will have no whatever, like nothing bad to say about any fan who's got honest opinion, and that's what they see, and they say it as it is. You know me, I always shoot from the hip. I say it as it is, right? How I see it is how I say it. But I just think sometimes you have to understand how other teams play and how other teams make chances for their forward. And yes, Martial was guilty of the West Brom game when the cross kept coming in. He was on his fucking heels. Apologies for swearing, but he was on his heels. He was on his heels. He was on his heels, and he didn't get to that near post or front post quick enough. And he needs to learn that. He needs to learn that and want those goals. Yeah. But last season, when the confidence was put in him, I thought he delivered. Because I didn't think he was going to deliver. I didn't think you could play down the middle and hold up the ball. So I think it's about how he's used. I think it's the tactics, and I think it's about what the midfielders create. What are they creating?
That's it, mate. I mean, you said it there. Without that creativity in front of that defence to then lead into a build-up in play, you're solely reliant on Bruno doing something, and then it's quite simple for the opposition. Mark Bruno out the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it out earlier on today. I said if United went out and got a proper CDM, made it their aim to get a proper CDM, which one of Fred and McTominay would you play? Most people went with McTominay, but then a lot of people were saying neither because these guys just ain't good enough. So I'm looking at it going, like you said, Nuruddin, there, without Pogba, then we do look like we're going to struggle. The fear is, though, and if United do not, or if United do sell Paul Pogba, where is that money going to go? I just don't see it being reinvested into the club. And there goes the issue.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
yeah.
I just teed up Nuruddin on that one. I know he's got a big thing about this one, but it is the structure is a problem at the moment. I don't think this current climate is going to help our cause at all as fans. No. We're not going to get much this summer. So let's look to within. Donny van der Beek. Does Donny van der Beek suit that holding midfield role next to a CDM? I think he could play the role easily.
He can because the stuff he does on the ball is simple stuff. I mean, he doesn't panic on the ball. When he has the ball, it's straight away he's looking up, quick passes. With Fred and McTominay, it's like foot on the ball, turn, where can I pass? McTominay lately he's been playing really well and he can score goals. McTominay, whereas if it comes to Fred, it always seems to be outside the 18-yard box. Who's it fall to? Fred. And it winds me up because he can't finish his dinner. He cannot finish his dinner, that man. He's been winding me up last few weeks. He's been winding me up.
I was laughing my head off because exactly soon as I see, I'm like, Fred, no! I get the nose out already. I get the nose out.
He stood there on the free kick on the 18-yard box. Fucking move. What are you going to do from there? That's what I'd be like. Move.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best quote from Bruno the other day. It's like me and Marcus stay behind at training to work on free kicks. Fred stays behind too, but he's there for a laugh.
Yeah, brilliant. Honestly, you took the words
Fred's
out.
There for numbers.
It says it. It says it all.
It was Mata. It was him, Mata, and Rashford. He said Mata, Rashford, and Fred comes along for the laughs.
Yeah. You gotta love Bruno. You really do. I think our team. If anyone's seen the film, we said this in a watch along the other day. If anyone's seen the film Mean Machine, I can pretty much line up certain players. Fred is Danny Dyer's character, hot potato on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
I think What have we got? I would say Eric Bailly was more of a monk sort of character.
Yeah.
Just throw himself at anything. He's not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And then you've got Marcus Rashford as Trojan. Pass the ball, Trojan. Pass it. He's just... God, I can just picture the film now. It's exactly what it's like and what we're all screaming as fans at the screen. It's like, there's a ball there. And then I realised it was Fred. So Rashford ignored him and just carried on running.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta laugh. But, I mean, getting into it now, guys, I think this week was fun. It was good. It's nice to have a bit of a laugh and a joke about certain things, but it's about to get a whole lot of serious now. Newcastle... Then Chelsea, then City. I mean, this is the ultimate. This will tell us if we are comfortably getting top four or if we are going to be in a very similar rat race as we was last season. There's a lot. Nobody will come to you, mate. The way the season's going, it's sort of going exactly like last season, apart from Liverpool's collapse. It's very, very similar right now, isn't it, with the teams and who's hovering around.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to come back to what you asked your brother. What were you asking about Donny? Donny is one of the best two-touch footballers in the world. Donny can play as a number 8. Ollie, obviously, it's all clear now. Ollie wanted Grealish. The club got him Donny. That just shows you who Man United are. Man United, but you need to be summed up. You can tell Ollie does not rate him. Does not even worked out a way to fit him into the first 11. He's not even doing any of that, and he's decided to kind of use this kind of propaganda. Ollie's creating this propaganda to think, no, Donny's a number 10. Donny's not a number 10 like Bruno. Donny's never been a number 10. So the only play, so what is being pushed out there is that, well, Donny can only play when Bruno's injured or when Bruno's rested. Which is an absolute it's just ridiculous fallacy. Donny van der Beek is one of the best number 8s. At certain times at Ajax, he would play as a number 8. At times where the team had injuries, he was filling at number 6. But the fact that Donny's not number 10 like Bruno is, he's nowhere near that kind of way of playing. He's a number 8 who arrives late in the box, who's got brilliant one-touch movement, and who can find space. He can find space in a packed box. And he will always, because he's got such a calm, like he said, like I said, that he's got composure and calmness. He can just pass and move and have a shot. But we're not getting the best out of him. And to me, for the next couple of games, if Donny is not in that team, especially against Newcastle, because now he's supposed to be injured, but then on social media we see him training on the day that they flew. He was training. It's like, where's this come from? So I don't know if Ollie's doing a psychology, mind games and all of this for Newcastle game. But to me, if he doesn't play, he'll tell us everything we need to know. But that just sums up the structure of Man United. I want Grealish. Nah, mate, we can't get Grealish. Hey, have done it.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It was. I think as soon as Aston Villa stayed up and didn't go down, didn't get relegated, I think that Grealish deal just died completely. Yeah. They bumped the price up, and United just buckled at the knees completely. Yeah. And then we went out.
Yeah, do you remember Klopp? Klopp was like, when people were like, oh, Liverpool need a centre half, he's like, no, we're still working on a Van Dijk deal. Even though I can't say it, we still got our target. We still got our target. Yeah. You didn't go and buy somebody else. Liverpool didn't go, why don't you have Tyrone Mings instead of, you know what I mean?
No, don't.
He's strong, he's good. Why don't you have him instead of Van Dijk? No, they waited. They go for the targets and they get the players. And I think about this summer, and it always comes back to Adam. The reason why our squad's still unbalanced, we've got forward line that plays really well, but our squad in terms of midfield and in the centre of defence is still unbalanced, right? Because the club never backed the manager. They never backed Morris, even though none of us thought he rated him. But they gave him the job and they never backed him, right? Van Gaal, same. They never truly backed him the players that he wanted. Mourinho, we all know he threw the dummy out. Now Ollie's got his dream job. It's like a kid in a sweet shop learning on a job. Yeah. And that's happening. And there's no structure to help him. The reason why I go on about structure, right? And people just gave me the name now, Mr. Structure. That's why I am now, Mr. Structure. Because I go on about it so much, right? I go on about it so much, I've had to just accept it. I am Mr. Structure. But it's because you can't win a league without the infrastructure, without behind the house. There's the front of the house. What's watches the squad and the coaching staff. The back of house, if the back of house is not correct, the front of house is never, because the back of house needs to kind of hold up the front of house.
Yeah.
Go and do the business they need to. We don't.
You can't polish a piece of turd.
Like Fergie. Fergie would struggle now against Klopp and Guardiola if the backing wasn't there. Pep Guardiola spent almost 450 million on defenders at a time that he's been at City.
That's it. I mean, I think Noureddin goes on one just as well as I do. We're a perfect combination for this, this show. When we get a bee in our bonnet, it's just hell-bent, go straight down the fast lane. But talking about structure then, Noureddin, I'll touch on this for you in a second. But Ant, first of all, the only structure I see at the moment is that we are going down the road of youth. It's the only place I've seen decent investment over the last few years in terms of this football club. In player recruitment, honestly, no. I think we've wasted multi-millions on, like Noureddin said, second and third choice picks because we didn't want to get shown up in a transfer market and actually show our card and basically show how inept we are and how used we are at making deals. But we've seen that. We've seen Ahmad come on for a short spell last night, and it looks okay from what we've seen so far. Looks like he is well above the under-23 level, which is a good sign. We've got a lot of good young kids coming through. I mean, I'm looking at it now and going, I honestly can't see another marquee signing at this football club ever again. I really can't.
No.
I just cannot see it happening. I think Ed Woodward completely burnt all bridges and ties with so many clubs in terms of how he deals with transfers. And I think now we're looking at the likes of Diallo. We're looking at the likes of spending 1.4 million on a McNeil early doors so we can maybe bring him through our own youth system. I mean, in terms of what Noureddin said, and structure, I can't see it. I can't see how we're doing it. All I can see is that they may be putting a lot of emphasis on youth.
Well, going forward, like Fabrizio Romano said, it's going to be a lot of swap deals because the market at the moment isn't right. Clubs haven't got the money, and Ed Woodward's was clinging on to the Sancho deal. And look how stupid Dortmund look now. He's not played well this season, Sancho. He's been out of form. His head was at United. He didn't get the move he wanted. And this season, there's been no fans. The revenues aren't there. Dortmund they have to turn over such amount, about 120 million they are in debt, which they need to sell in players. They've got players there that they have to sell now. And it's not the same market as it used to be. Like, we're joking about it before, but I wouldn't put it past United for going in for Tyrone Mings, talking about these high-spec players. They're the type of players that we're going to probably be looking at. And it's embarrassing to say that, but the youth is the way forward in United because you've got Shorty, is it Hugo? Hugo. He's just a goal machine. Obviously, he's under 23 level, but still, if you can score goals, then you need to give him the chance. But
supposedly being promoted to first team training as well now.
And is it Hannibal? Is it?
Hannibal as well.
Yeah. There's a few good players, but are they going to get a chance, Ollie? Because you hear the way Ollie talks about Ahmad. It's like, you know, his level's above the under 23s. You can see that just by the way he plays. But is he going to give him 5 minutes here or there? He did it against West Ham in the FA Cup. He should have brought him on for 15 minutes at least in the second half. He didn't do it. He gave him 10 minutes last night. He needs more time. But then again, the way the United play at the moment, we're not comfortable winning games to bring him on. That's what it is. Is he going to take a gamble and play him? But is he going to bring off one of the main guns for it? I can't see it. I think with Ollie, he's never going to give them young lads a chance and take like Greenwood or Rashford or one of them players off if the games are tight. Because at the moment, watching United, every game's tight. Apart from last night. Last night was the first time I was sat there, relaxed. I'm not shouting at the telly.
That's it. I mean, Noureddin, like you said, like Ant just said there, mate. I mean, has Ollie really got the time to blood these youngsters with the pressure that he's actually under right now? Oh,
he's got
right on cue. He didn't want to answer that one.
That's a no then.
That's it. Ollie's cut the internet cable to Noureddin's house. Doesn't want them questions answered. But that's what I see. I see Mason Greenwood. Let's just check if Noureddin's back.
Mason
Greenwood back again.
Mason Green was a one-off because he's that good.
Yeah, but still, I come to you, Noreen, on this, mate. I think Ollie's under that much pressure, mate. Has he got time to blood these youngsters? Are we going to see the potential?
Nope.
No, we're not, mate. The biggest thing is that what is really
Can you
interesting.
hear him, Matt? I can't hear him.
I can hear him. You unplug and come back in, Ant.
Yeah. So what's happening basically is the fact that I can hear you. I can hear you, Ant.
Yeah, don't worry. You carry on, Noreen.
Yeah. So basically, what's happening is that what they're doing is the fact that I can hear you.
These are going. They're going in the bin.
Right, just stay like that. Stay like that. Right, Noreen, carry on, mate.
Yeah. Not the funniest thing. My internet, honestly, Adam, my internet is being fine. I've been going on a couple of streams, right? My internet is being fine, except when it comes to tonight, right? And now I'm on my phone, and my phone is charged, so charging. So I'm charging my phone and talking to you because the laptop is not working. My internet in the laptop is just gone down. But what I was saying to you is that they're not backing Ollie, but then they want him to basically get the best out of these youngsters when he's got no time. Obviously, we are out of the top teams in Europe. I think the top 9 teams, we're talking about globally big teams. We're the only team who's got their manager where the contract is running out at the end of the summer. So that just shows you everybody's waiting, everybody's buying their time. And what I'm not even worried about, mate, is that you said before, we're not signing a marquee signing. You don't trust the club to sign a marquee signing, right? You don't trust them to do anything. But what about, do you think Bruno's not a Mancunian like me and you guys? Do you think Bruno cares if Barcelona get their stuff together, get their house in order, if Real Madrid get their house in order, and we all come out of this COVID time, do you think he wants to hang around? Do you think he will want to stay? Do you think that he wants to win trophies? Every time you hear an interview with Bruno, he wants to win trophies. The other day when he scored that goal, on his Twitter, he posted the goal, 4 photos of the goal. He's basically telling us, listen, I got the goal. The defense is their fault. That's what he's telling us. We already know he's getting frustrated. We already know he's having a go at the likes of Lindelof. So for me, what I'm worried about, I'm worried about signing players. I'm worried to holding on to the likes of Greenwood, to the likes of Rashford, to the likes of Bruno, because I'm thinking, well, if they had ambition, if they can see this club is stagnating, we're only going to be getting into the top 4, out of the top 4 in the Europa, challenging for the odd cup and that there and then. That's not a way to compete, is it? You got to build the team around them to be able to compete. You have to buy the players, the best players that are available. And another shocking thing that I heard as well was that Ollie said that he doesn't coach the young. He gave an interview to, I think, Scandinavian television, and he said, I don't do the coaching. I'm like, what?
I heard about that the other day. I mean, if that is the case, then I've said this many a time that Ollie may help himself by just bringing in some different coaching setup, because I can't see on the pitch a style of play and a coaching setup. And I mean, defensively, no, non-existent. Going forward, yeah, we look good, but it is. I look at Rashford and I go, oh my God, if you put a simple thing like a Steve McLaren, I know it sounds crazy, a Steve McLaren coach, a Rennie Milstein, anyone like that in front of Rashford on that training ground, I think we're seeing a completely different player. I really do. That's how I just see Marcus Rashford. And I think there's a definite shout for upgrading that coaching staff, mate, as well.
Said it a long time, bro. I said it a long time. Ollie is inexperienced. He hasn't got that much help from the board. He needs to go and get the best coaches out there. The club have got to get him to sign the best coaches out there in the world and get them as number 2 and a number 3. Because with that, then he'd be able to at least sustain us, as we might not be challenging for the league, but we'll be up there fighting amongst it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the only way. We need a genius for this under this infrastructure, this club. We need a genius. And that's what I'm saying. That even a genius like Fergie would struggle if the quality is, you're not buying the quality to reinforce. And you know what Fergie did? Fergie can absolutely polish an absolute toad. You know that. We already know that.
Yeah.
He was the best man motivator in the world, the best sports psychologist in the world. But the best thing about Fergie is that he got coaches and he replaced them every couple of years. He replaced them. and got somebody else in with new ideas, new initiatives. And we don't have that. I mean, with all due respect, what experience in high level, at the elite level, has Michael Carrick got? What level of coaching? Just because he was a player for Man United. I don't want that. I want the best. I want the best people for the job. I want the best footballing director. I want the best coaches. I want the best man. I want the best because I'm used to the best as Man United fan. We're used to fighting for the best trophies.
That's it, mate. And you said it yourself there. You said it yourself, mate. The levels, the standards. It's like 1 minute Ollie will say one thing and saying this isn't acceptable for us, and then completely contradict himself in the same sentence, saying we shouldn't even be considered for certain things. But I mean, and I'll come to you on it. I mean, Nuruddin just touched on it there, mate. Michael Carrick. I got one better for you. We got Darren Fletcher. I mean, I look at it and I go, Ollie doesn't look like he can handle an ego. And I say this not in a way to bring Ollie down or slag him off, but he got rid of Sanchez, he got rid of Lukaku, big voices in the dressing room. We all thought it was brilliant. And that side of the job he has done really good at. But Carrick, McKenna, none of these guys have got any more experience than Ollie. And Ollie is limited at that in terms of experience. Yeah. Then you're bringing in Darren Fletcher. It's like, yeah, I understand it, but do you know what I mean? There's ambassador roles at the football club that these guys could be doing. And like Nuruddin said there, where's the coaching levels? Yeah. Because it is looking like that's how we're playing on the pitch. Inexperienced.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, who's going to be next, Rio Ferdinand? I heard McKenna was the defensive coach. If he's a defensive coach, like,
says everything you need to know for me. That
exactly. It needs to be. These players need to be taught. Like you said, you went. John Stones is a prime example. Coaching. He had a mayor. Look at him now. That's all about the coaching. These players, they need the right defensive coaching, and the right players need to be coached to deal with these situations. And Lindelof and Maguire, when they're together, they're an absolute shambles. But this is obviously what's happening in that training. For the staff to think these two are all right. They must be doing something in the training pitch to think that. You need proper staff like Monstein. Fergie had the right idea. He had the staff. He had everything. He used to stand there and watch and shout his orders. And Mullenstein used to do it. Is it Quiros as well? Was a massive part of Fergie's era. The way
defensively changed our team.
Yeah, exactly. And they've done it like you got obviously Rio Ferdinand and Vidic, but then again they'll be coached because when Vidic first came in and Evra, they had a mayor. Then they got coached, and look how they turned out. So I think it is down a massive part down to the coaching. Obviously, we do need another centre half, but it's down to the coaching. But I don't. Who'd you bring in? Who's out there that you know of with?
Have you dangled that Man United carrot at one of these top coaches, knowing what money that these are going to get and the facilities they're going to be working in? Then I think this is easier than signing 2 or 3 players, because I do feel we've got potential at this club. I just don't think that this coaching setup, and I'm not just earmarking Ollie for this, I think he has got some good managerial traits, but I question the coaching side of it completely. And it does look like that because you know what you're getting with Mourinho. You know what you're getting with Pep. You know what you're getting with Klopp. This is the table that we expect, like Nuruddin said then, a United manager to be sitting at. This is the level that we expect to be sitting at. And yes, Mourinho came in, he was the name, came into United and completely had a brain melt, an absolute brain melt. And that probably was a combination of Ed Woodward and Jose Mourinho completely logging horns and exploding. But I look at it and go, okay, what elite level out there is there in terms of management, Nuruddin? I don't see anyone right now standing out for me management-wise, but I tell you what, there's plenty of good coaches out there as number 2s who could change this team around within months, mate.
Yeah, 100%. There are some decent coaches out there, but there are people who study who basically know what the best coaches are in Europe. If they're at Real Madrid, if they're in parts of Bayern Munich, back staff, all of it is no secrets in football anymore. Everybody knows everybody's work. Club like Man United, if they were run properly, mate, we've got 3 bankers: Matt Judge, Richard Arnold, and Ed Woodward running the football structure at Man United. No, in the history of football has ever the football structure in the hands of 3 guys who were ex-bankers, investment bankers. This is who they are. This is who we. So the non-footballing people, this is who they are, and they take suitcases to deal, right? And they'll give ridiculous contracts out with players who are injury prone. And the footballing director. That's why I said I don't want Man United to spend money every year, every transfer. No, if you know what you're doing, you don't need to. You tinker here and there. But I always said the day you see me go absolutely excited and go ballistic is the day this club signs a footballing director that knows what he's doing. Because then you would see the development. He will look at the whole picture and look at how the coaching. He will go and get the coaches that needed, the style of play that's needed. And I look at Ollie, I think Ollie's been left to hang out on the dry, like all the other managers, to go and make it up as he goes along. And the fact that he said he doesn't do the coaching, I'm like, well, what confidence does it give us now that we've got a couple of talented youngsters that he's going to do that? Yeah. I look at Nagelsmann, yeah. I think Nagelsmann can do a job in the Premier League, right? But Nagelsmann is an inexperienced coach as well, even though he's more experienced at the highest level, in the Champions League level, than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ever was, right, before he came to United. But he's going to need help and a structure around him. But I see him as a talented, straight away, within 2-3 months, we'll see a style of play from Man United. And that obviously, look at Leipzig. He doesn't have the best of quality players. Leipzig sell all their best players every season. Every transfer, they sell a player, right? So if he came to a club like Man United, he would just develop an identity, look in the youth team and think, who can I develop? Because he's the kind of guy who thinks, I'm going to give young players a chance and I'm going to mold them into the way I'm going to play. But I look at Ollie, I think, I'm not, you know, Adam, you know me, I've supported him when others were slagging him off. I'm critical of Ollie because now it's been 2 years. My criticism of him has gone harsher because it's been 2 years and we still don't see a style of play. We still look like we're making it up as we go along on the football pitch. Yeah, and I only criticize him on the things that are fair. Of course, he's changed the lot of the backroom stuff. He's changed a lot. He's made us fall in love with the team again. He's brought the likes of Bruno into the club. Even though we would never have bought Bruno if McTominay and Pogba and Rashford were injured, we would never have bought him. You know that in that January, and it's a fact. We will never have bought him. But it shows we're ricocheting from bad decisions. And I just think Ollie, in his heart of heart, I will always have emotional connection. Because he gave me that goal in '99. Nobody can ever take that away from me as a United fan. Nobody can ever take that away. But when I look at what Carrick being there, when I look at, even though I think that I think Fletcher has got footballing knowledge and he's been coaching on the 16th and he's been doing his badges and stuff like that. I look at it, I think it's like jobs for mates. It's like you, Adam, can walk in there tomorrow and go, I've been a United supporter since I was a toddler. I played at level. Can I get a coaching job? It looks like that at the moment. From the outside, that's what it looks like. Jobs for mates. I want the best in quality in these positions.
That's it, mate. Definitely. I mean, Nuruddin pretty much nailed it there. Jobs for mates. You mentioned Rio Ferdinand will be next. I'm looking at it going right now. I don't know where the club is going because all his contract's up. And I think they're holding their cards firmly to their chest right now with it. I don't think we're going to see any knee-jerk reaction this time. I guarantee it, because I don't think they want to give him any money. I really don't. I don't think they trust him to spend the money again. What money there is, which I don't think there's a lot, I don't think he's going to get backed anymore. I really don't. We're hearing stories that maybe we've saved the Sancho money for this summer. Was the Sancho money in the first place?
No.
Well, we don't know, because Dortmund was saying that there was no bid anywhere near. So I'm looking at it and looking at Ollie's contract now and thinking, right, okay, for you, I've not asked you this question. I'll ask Nuruddin as well this one in a minute, but what gets Ollie that contract at the end of this season? What gets him that contract?
Well, it's got to be, in my opinion, contract extension for Ollie's got to be finishing second and winning the trophy. Definitely, he needs a trophy, Solskjaer, because he's been to 4 semi-finals now, and he's lost. And it's that mentality.
One win away from a fifth. That's when everyone gets nervous, because you know we'll get City in the next semi-final.
That's what I mean. It's all about mentality. If he drops out that top 4, he's gone. It's got to be gone, and they can't make the mistake of backing him too early, like they did when he went on that Ollie's at the wheel run. and then he had a stinker towards the end of the season, and we didn't even get in top 4. You can't do that. They have to be smart with it, and obviously we talk about United board here and Ludwood being smart. It's not some of the words you'd use for them, but Ollie needs a trophy and to finish second. Like you said, we're going to push him all the way. We're not just going to let him have it. It's funny saying that because it's what it looks like to us. City are 10 clear now. 10 clear, and don't look like anyone can beat them, and that's the frustrating thing. It's okay saying it; it's just words saying it, but you need to get that through to your players because it's not as easy for the players as it is for us fans seeing City walking away with a title again. It was hard enough last season with Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, Nuruddin, mate, like Ant just said there, City running away with it, mate. It just rolls into what we've just discussed there, mate, because I'm going to work out now. So, Sergio Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, I would say on a par at Manchester United, probably Rashford and Bruno. If them two are missing out of our team, mate, we're bottom half of the table. Simple as. City, 17 games in a row they've won. And this is without Aguero. This is without Kevin De Bruyne. This is down to a manager that's brought in a player like John Stones, who was in the wilderness. He was gone, mate. He was looking for outing. Finished. They brought out Kyle Walker, injured again. In comes Cancelo. Straight away, mate, that team's style of play, their ethos, everything that the manager drills into him on a training ground doesn't change, no matter who plays. The next player comes in, steps up, maybe not as good a quality, and yeah, they have got the bonus of having a really good, talented squad, but let's be honest, they can put anyone in there. It doesn't change, mate. It doesn't change. If that happened to United right now, mate, I can guarantee you, we're Arsenal fodder. That's where we are in the league. Without Bruno, without Rashford, we are mid-table mediocrity, mate. And that is my ultimate fear. You said if Bruno wants to leave, my ultimate fear is actually seeing this guy get injured and then all the numpties in the world that don't actually rate him and think he's overrated actually realise what he actually brings and why we're actually talking at this level right now about being second and maybe winning a trophy. Because without him, that doesn't happen, mate.
100%. I put a tweet out the other night, after the game last night. I was like, could you imagine where we would be without him? Honestly, I said, would we know where we'd be without Bruno? The biggest thing for me is that, yeah, we would definitely be there. And that's the fear, isn't it? The fear is that we would be there. To me, the biggest thing about the downfall of Ollie is going to be, I called it a long time ago. I called it last season, actually, after the Sevilla game. I said, Ollie's downfall is going to be the partnership he persists with, the Lindelof and Maguire. Maguire last night looked like a £50 million defender. When he plays with Lindelof, it looks like you can get him and Lindelof for free. Buy one, get one free for a 10 million. That's what it looks like. I'm talking about John Stones and City. I'm not going to lie to you. I walked into Tesco, big Tesco in Old Trafford, just near Stretford there. And they've seen this like one of these managers, and he looked a bit like Stones. And I was thinking, is that where he is now? Is he on a managerial scheme at Tesco? Next minute, you bring Diaz on. Diaz is the absolute leader. And then you put him next to Diaz, and then you see the change that Pep Guardiola, what is dangerous for all of us in the league and for Liverpool, everybody, that Pep Guardiola has adapted his tactics. Yeah, they don't concede goals anymore. They've got coaches now and he's realized that all throughout his career at Barcelona, it was tiki-taka, strangling the ball, playing so many midfielders, keeping the ball away from the other team. Bayern Munich the same, Man City the same. All of a sudden, Fernandinho, all the legs have gone out of them. And what does he do now? Buys a centre half that is the dominant centre half, that is the leader like Diaz, and then Stone turns into the £50 million, £60 million defender that he was. So that is the thing we have to worry about. And he's done that specifically for the Champions League. Because if you remember what's let Man City down in the past couple of years in the Champions League, it's always been they're conceding goals while they're on top. While they're absolutely tearing teams apart, they always concede easy goals. And City are not conceding that many goals. So I look at Man United and I think, you asked Andy the question, and I think, what is the thing for Ollie? I think if he gets a top 4, they'll give him an extension. Because they know they can, with keeping Ollie there, it keeps the spotlight off them because they can emotionally manipulate the fan base and you know already the fan base are split into Ollie in, Ollie out. I'm like, I don't have any agenda. I just want Ollie to do well. So when I need praising, I'll praise him. But I will also criticize him when he needs criticized, when he makes mistakes. But I think that partnership will be his downfall, because I look at the last game where our midfield and our attackers played really well was against Sevilla in that semi-final. We should have beaten them. We had so many chances. Their keeper was man of the match. Their keeper was man of the match. And then 2 crosses to the box. And what do? We've got absolutely those 2 twiddling their thumbs while they're not defending the corridor between the penalty box and the goal line. There is that corridor where, if you don't have to be quick, but that's where good centre-halves earn their bread. And I look at where Bailly plays with Maguire. Maguire transforms into a totally different defender. Totally different defender.
100%, mate. I can't disagree with anything that you just said there, mate. It has to be Eric Bailly playing alongside Maguire. I mean, we've seen that break in the first half epitomised everything and pretty much brought everything that Noureddin just said into one moment in a game. Was when they had that counter-attack and the player went through from the halfway line. Bailly kept pace with him and actually slowed the player down for Maguire to then come in and make a really good tackle and completely nullify the attack. You don't get that with Lindelof playing. And you know what? I'm not going to just pull all the blame down onto Lindelof here. It's the combination, like you said, mate. It's one or the other. I could easily go ahead and say, oh, Lindelof may even be better with Eric Bailly than what Maguire is. It could easily be that way. We're just never going to see it because Ollie will never, ever drop his captain. And that's where I think you said it is another reason why this is where it's going to fall apart for Ollie, because he will not drop his captain. He won't drop Maguire. He won't rest him. He won't see past him when there is other players there that could easily come in. And at worst case, won't do any worse than what these two are as a partnership. But before we finish up, we've got to get on to the actual game against Newcastle, because I'm sure, and I don't know what you guys think, we're going to see Lindelof and Maguire play. So, Noureddin, I'm going to come to you first on this one, mate. Be honest, the back four and the goalkeeper, I know who I'm picking. Who's your pick for the Newcastle game, mate? What's your team there? The back four and the goalkeeper.
I honestly, you know, for years I was defending David De Gea. But to me, at Sheffield United is where I was like, I've defended you for so long because he had so much credit in the bank, because without him, we look at Rashford and we look at Rashford and Bruno, and you said before, without those two, we're near Arsenal, There was times through the Bengali era, through the David Moyes era, through to the Jose era, where without David De Gea, we would have been fighting relegation, mate. He made saves after saves after saves for United. But now, to me, teams are targeting him. In the Premier League, before they used to swing the ball out to a corner. Now they swing the ball in. They put a guy next to him. They swing the ball into him. And I'm telling you, I look at the difference between him and not even that. And we always accepted that about De Gea. De Gea wasn't a commanding as he was. But what De Gea was, what used to be his aid is that he used to make spectacular saves. All these one-on-one strikers, he would make amazing things. He's not doing that anymore. Even though he made 2 good saves, he's not making that incredible saves as he used to when he was on fire. So now when I look at it, I think his only downfall, he's getting paid the most, and he knows Ollie favours him, and there's no pressure on that in the league games. And when I look at Henderson, I think he's just so hungry. He's been at United since he was a kid. He's so hungry and he has his belief. And I look at last night, obviously there's no fans in there. The ball went through.
And then when I was just about to pick it up.
Keepers! I'm like, could you ever hear De Gea? If I was a striker, that's gonna intimidate me.
Mate, you said it then. I think it was. I'm trying to remember the defender who I've seen a grown man shit his pants live when Henderson came out and shouted for that ball. I think it was either Bailly or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Absolutely, but I think I already know who the rest of your defence is going to be, and I'm in complete agreement. It has to be Bailly. It has to be Henderson, Maguire, Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me.
And I want people, the viewers, to understand. I've stood with De Gea when people were like, get him out, when the papers were slagging him off because he was making mistakes. It's not about the mistakes. He's lost confidence. And the Sheffield United game told me everything I need to know. When he got fouled, he never said a word to the referee or even looked at the referee. I'm just like, no. Getting bullied like that is a big thing. But you're not even gone down. You've not even complained. And I'm just like, this guy is like, he doesn't want to be. That just shows me his head's not there. He's just too intimidated. And it's Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp, I'm sorry to say, but he's tall as Anne. He's about tall as Anne. You know what I mean? He's not a big lad like me and you. See? So when Billy Sharp is doing that to you, what do you think other teams are going to do to you? And every time that we concede a free kick or a corner, my heart is in my mouth. My heart is in my mouth because I think this is that we're going to concede. And most likely we do concede. So I look at it and think, Henderson deserves the chance. He deserves to get the chance. And you shouldn't have favourites. And I look at that team and I see Ollie with his favourites, Fred and McTominay. I'm sorry, no. When we play against teams that come onto us, that attack us, that are going to have the ball a lot, and Fred is tenacious and winning the ball back, his stats is up there as one of the best. But when we're playing against teams that sit back and with a low block and just camp in the area, we need to play different tactics and different personnel in the midfield. And it just, I look at it and think, Ollie's got this way. He always says it. I listen to all his interviews and he'll come out and say, some people think I'm stubborn. Because you are, Ollie. You are. You're working. You're getting the stats. That's why majority of fans who support you are feeling, you're doubting, you're putting doubt in their head. Because you're not making it. To me, nobody should be guaranteed. Only Bruno. Because you can't argue with his stats. He should be captain. Adam, I'll ask you both. The real captain of our club and our football team is Bruno. Yeah. Maguire, bro, I'm telling you, his dog tells him to walk him outside. His dog gets the lead and says, hey, get down here and take me for a walk. He can't lead, mate. He can't lead anything, honestly. I see it. I see it in his face. He never shouts at anybody. I've only ever heard him shout at Luke Shaw once.
Yeah. And the press.
That's it. So, I mean, just as Special Spec says there in the comment section, sorry, I bring it up now. Nordin, what's your pick then, dude? You was picking a defence until you went.
Brilliant.
Love that. I think I nailed Nordin's backline. I mean, Ant, was you any different to that backline than what we were on that?
Spot on. It's the same with what they always tend to do with Maguire as well. They always pan on him in the tunnel as he's walking out because that's the only time he's vocal. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. That's why you hear from him. That's it, and it stops. That's it. It's done. But like Nordin said, Bruno is our captain. Everyone knows Bruno's the captain. He's captain at Sporting.
And just for this game, we're going to change the captain to Bruno as well. We're going for it. It's happening, people. But we got to move on to the midfield. And I'll start with you on the midfield. We know he's going to play two in front of the defence, so we might as well just go with it and say that that's the team. Who's the two in front of that back four?
Oh, we know what it's going to be. We know it's going to be Fred. That's what it's going to be. But I would honestly like to see Fred in the holding role with Donny next to him. Because Newcastle. I watched Newcastle play against Chelsea on Monday night, and they were shite. They were beyond. Yeah. They couldn't even pass 5-yard passes. Simple stuff they couldn't do. They are down and out. You do not need two holding midfielders against Newcastle at Old Trafford. You need Fred and give Donny a chance, and then you've got Bruno, and obviously the front three speaks for itself.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Nordin gets the job as a motivational coach. That's it. Aliens just put you in the job there, Nordin, mate. Done it. Definitely. I mean, I like Nordin was nodding his head along with it there. I think I would like to see Donny in that role. If it be Fred or McTominay, do you know what I mean? I would take either one of them with him. But we know what it's going to be. The fact that McTominay came off one of the first substitutes last night kind of said that he will be playing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't say he has been playing all right. Against Newcastle, exactly like Ant said then, no, mate. It's like no Callum Wilson, no threat up front. Well, there is threat. We're not going to be stupid, but Steve Bruce plays very defensive. we should have that player in that 2 pivot that is going to go forward as well and join that attack. And for me, if you had a McTominay or Donny van der Beek in there, I think you've got a bit more substance for the game. I think you've got better opportunities, mate. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. To me, Donny would show, for me, if Ollie's making up things to cover the fact that he never wanted Donny and the mistreatment of that kid, I just feel so bad for him because he's such a brilliant footballer. He's such a brilliant mover. And the thing about him as well, that his stats before he came to United, I know stats can tell you not all of the picture, but they can tell you some of the picture. His stats was actually, in terms of fitness, was up there. In terms of miles running midfield, was up there any of the best in Europe. And his tackling, he's got such an underrated tackling, right? He can tackle, he can bite. We remember we used to play post goals. Post goals couldn't tackle anything, bro, anything. No. But he used to play because he was a great ball player. But what I'm saying to you, we used to play him sometimes as the holding guy, right? So the idea that now he's going to just be a number 10. The best position for Donny van der Beek is a number 8. Number 8 who makes runs into the box and attacking number 8. And he's perfect for that. The only thing that I can say that, because Ollie said that McTominay was doubtful for the game last night. He played, he was limping a bit, and he went down before he got taken off. So if he's not fit, the team picks itself, then it's Fred and McTominay then. And then Cavani, he did say today on his press conference, he said that he's going to give Cavani every chance for him to play in this game. So he's going to have a late fitness test, late Saturday or Sunday morning. But at the end of the day, I look at it and I think Telles got bought in, Bailly got bought in, Tuanzebe. You have to make use of your squad because at the highest level, at the elite level, right, players' match fitness counts. So the idea that we're bringing Donny in for a game here and then taking him off here and not giving him the full 90 minutes, then not bringing him on the next game, and then we're not seeing him for a couple of... for top elite footballers, to get top fitness, you need 3.5 games of 90 minutes. Yeah. You need almost 4 games of 90 minutes plus to get your fitness levels up, to touch, to be instinct, to play in an instinctive way, right? And I look at Bailly. Bailly was absolutely rusty in the first couple of minutes. Telles was a bit rusty. But as the game gone on, their fitness comes and built into it. And then all of our fans will look at them and go, well, they've not took their chance. I'm like, but they need... Remember Fred? And you remember, after Mourinho coming on here, not seeing him for 4 games later. Ollie came in 10 games in a row. Fred then made his name in the team because he got 10 games in a row due to the injuries, but he kept playing him till he got into it. And Donny needs that. We need Donny. Donny can have a fantastic end to the season and can really put us up there. But is Ollie going to swallow his pride because he didn't get Grealish and is going to play him in the right position to get the best out of him?
That's it. I mean, literally, it's not a bad problem to have. I mean, it's not even so much swallowing pride. Just play him. Yeah. Seriously, just play him. Forget if he's not for listening what everyone says in the press and whatnot everywhere, fan base, then just play him for God's sake. Use the talent that you've got there. But I mean, and to finish us off, who's that front three for you? Because we know Bruno's playing behind him. Yeah. Who's that front three for you this weekend?
It's like it depends if Cavani's fit. For me, it's Rashford on the left, Cavani in the centre, and Mason Greenwood on the right, because Greenwood's in form at the moment. Greenwood's in form, and he might not be scoring goals, but he looks the sharpest out of the three.
Yeah, true. A lot has to be said for that.
And it's again like we touched on then before I say it. Do you remember Newcastle away last season? Fred. Yeah. Saeed went in big time. Saeed's ran at Newcastle away last season. Fred.
I was there. Awful. I had my own.
we were there, and Fred had the mare. And look at him, prime example, game time.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's what Axel needs as well. But in terms of that, Greenwood on the right, Cavani.
Yeah.
But it has to be. Martial's just so low at the moment. I don't want to bring him on. Let him score goals.
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
100% agree with that. The only bit of the thing that gives me hope is that Greenwood is finding his touches. He's getting on the ball.
Yeah. He looks after it well.
He's beating players. The confidence coming back. And the only thing he's snapping at his shots. He's not hitting them as clean as he used to hit them. But that will come back. But he needs to be
that will.
And the fact that he didn't start against West Brom, I was disarray. Honestly, when I didn't see Van der Beek starting, and when I didn't, because you know how West Brom were going to play, Van der Beek on Greenwood, I'm like, Ollie, how can I blame the players on the pitch when you're putting that out there? Like, they deserve to play. Greenwood and Van der Beek deserve to start in that game. And we would
definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
Best players, Greenwood. He's had a tough year as well. Don't forget, Greenwood had a really tough year as well with his friend passing suicide. And the England international duty just hung him out to dry, big time.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's it. 100%. I think I'm in total agreement with both teams there completely. But we are over the hour mark, guys. We are done and dusted in here. And don't forget, it's Friday, guys, so everyone's in a better mood. And when you're in a better mood, you give it the thumbs up. Give the video a like, guys. Yeah, go get yourself a drink. Catch me on Saeed's channel at 9 o'clock tonight as well, talking with Statman over the weekend. That should be good watch. And all that's left for me to say is, Nuruddin, thank you very much for coming on, my man. A pleasure as always.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries, anytime, mate. And cheers for coming on again. Hopefully, we're all smiles this weekend. But people, give the video a like on the way out the door. Obviously, subscribe if you're watching for the first time, and do share the video. Let's get as many fans on the channel talking as we can. We will be doing another show this weekend, obviously, and then it's into what can only be described as we'll know if it's a nightmare week, but on paper it looks tough. That's all I'm going to say. But guys, for now, that's it for tonight. Take it easy. Enjoy the weekend. Sunday at 7 o'clock. My God, what's the Premier League come to? But we'll be there. I'll see you then.